Okay, I'm going to start, guys, with showing you how we're going to transfer our pattern on to our cushion. I'm going to do two different ways to show you. Now, first, I've taken the seam on the cushion I want facing this way so that when it's sitting, it's not going to be open. It'll be down like that. I've opened inside the cushion and stuck a plastic cutting board inside so that it's going to stop this seam from hindering my transferring. I've taken my pattern, flipped it over, and traced with a white chalk pencil, or light gray would work. I'm going to position my piece where I'd like it to be. Looks good to me. And I'm taking a bank card or a hotel key card or a points card, anything like that. And I'm going to firmly press along the top, slide it along, and this is going to transfer the chalk. Now I'm only traced to here because I'm going to show you the other way. So I just go along and I press and transfer those lines on. I lift it up and my pattern is transferred down. The other way, I'm going to take white transfer paper. I'm going to slide my cutting board down a bit more. They don't seem to make them the right size for in here. I'm going to slide my cutting board down, put my white transfer underneath, and now you have to press firmly when you're tracing. So if you're concerned about pressing, and you see I'm transferring my lines on nicely, if you're concerned about having to press too hard and tearing your tracing paper, you can take an old piece of plastic sleeve protector, anything like that, and put that over top so that you're able to press really hard and you don't worry about tearing your transfer paper, and that way you can reuse your pattern so many times. Okay, so I'm going to finish transferring this on. There's pros and cons to both ways. Ooh, close is good. There's pros and cons to both transferring. One, the chalk brushes off easy. So if you're going to be moving your pattern or your pillowcase around a lot, you'll need to kind of touch up those lines a lot. This one here, you have to press quite harder. So I've missed a line, so I just go in here and there. So you will use that if you get any of these markings that kind of disappear on you over the period while you're painting your pillow. All right, so that's how we're going to transfer our pattern on. Okay, I'm going to show you now how to put our lace pattern on the background of our cushion. So what I've got here is just a nice piece of lace that has a lot of open spaces in it. I've transferred my pattern on. I'm going to lay this on top. I've got my domed stipplers, and I'm going to take them and I'm going to use, it doesn't matter which color you start with. So let's start with the amethyst. So I'm just going to take a little excess off. I don't want too much. I'd rather start first and just test out an area. So you can lift back, have a look. I can have more paint. Pounce it into the palette. And I'll tap an area like so. And I'll work my way there. I'll take another spot and I'll put some purple there. I'll wipe my brush. Now I have extra brushes, so I'm just going to grab one of those. But if you have, take an old towel and wipe your brush, and I'm going to put the purple, pardon me, I'm going to put the peacock here, maybe some over here. I'm not going right up to the other color. I'm leaving a little bit of gap between them because I'm going to use the champagne gold to blend into them. So now I'll take a little bit of the berry. . And I'll tap my berry in a few spots. Now these paints are going to stay relatively wet. Now I'm going to take the champagne gold. So I pick up champagne gold and I'm going to start in between the colors. So I'll put champagne gold there and I'll just tap and blend it into the other colors I have on here. So champagne gold will go in between and work the colors till they fade into each other. That's what I'm going to use for my what we'll call blending colors. So I'll work them back and forth into each other, more gold. And you don't have to do the whole pattern either. You can skip and do pieces here and there. So I'll just lift it back and you can see how, now I've got it on my wing and you can keep going and lifting as you're going to see whereabouts you're getting it. You don't have to get it on the pattern. We'll touch up our pattern and they're all going to get base coated afterwards. So it isn't going to matter that it's on there. When I did the first one, originally I didn't bother putting the lace on and I did it afterwards. Then I ended up getting it all over the dragonfly's edges, so I had to retouch them up. So I'd prefer to go in this order so that I don't have to worry about getting and touching up the dragonfly after it's done painting. And I'd rather do it now. So, and some people don't want to do the lace at all, but at least you'll see how to do it. It leaves such a pretty effect on the background. It's nice. We're going to do it on a jean jacket and I'm going to do it on, I'd like to do something like this on a pair of jeans coming up the leg. I think it would be really pretty. And if you get an area, like this area is a little strong, I would put a little more of the gold over top just to break it up. See how that changes the tone? And if it really bugs you and you think, it's just too solid a color, then go back with a little bit of black over top of that spot afterwards. Let it dry and then just tap in a little bit of black over top of the lace there and that'll tone that down a bit. So it can all get adapted. I can put a little of the pink throughout. Maybe I want a bit in here. So it's just going to give you that nice, soft, pretty color and pattern in the background. So you're going to continue on and do the whole piece like that. So here I have now the basically finished one with the pattern, with the lace background on top of it. And I've got these couple of spots that are quite strong. And I can just leave them, but if I choose to, I can take a bit that's got quite a bit of holes on it. I'm going to take a dome stippler with a bit of black and I'm just going to tap a couple of taps over top of that, and you see how that toned that down for me. So I'll find where those other spots are, just one or two spots on top of it, and that ought to do. There's one more over there. Do what I need it to do. A little bit more on him. There. Now, I say there, but I guess I did a real number on that guy. There. So that's pretty good. It has that really pretty background. You can see a little bit of the paisley design, and you don't really make out the flowers that were in the lace, but it has a really pretty background to it, and that's what we have there. So now I'm going to take my chalk pencil and come back in here and kind of retouch up any of these lines that I stenciled over top of really strong. I'm going to be using my colored photo reference to it anyways, but a lot of people feel a little insecure with these lines missing. So you just kind of pop them back up. And that's good for me. His wings are growing. So that's where we're going to start with. And then we're going to change now and we'll start scrubbing in our colors. All right.